Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rekakadash. Now I'm going to jump in the book of Ezra, 2nd Ezra, starting in chapter 8. Chapter 8, verse 61. It says, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. Now, Ezra was given a lot more than all the other people of the Most High. Let me get that in 2nd Ezra 14, verse 1. It say, and it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under a oak, and behold, there came a voice out of the bush over against me, and said, Ezra, Ezra. Verse 2, and I said, here I am, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Verse 3, then he said unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in in Egypt. Salaki. Verse 4, and I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to the mount of Sinai, where I held him by me a long season. Okay, this is the point. Verse 5, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, verse 6, these words shall thou declare, and these shall thou hide. Okay, so Moses was like Ezra. Some of the things he put in secret, and some of the things he only gave to Moses. And so, let's see here. Ezra talked about it. And let's see here. But Ezra was talking about how he was given the secrets. Let's see here. He gave Ezra some of the secrets of the times. But let me go back to chapter 8, because he says it in chapter 8 too. Ezra chapter 8. It says, I'm going to start back at 61. It said, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. 62. These things have I showed unto all, Salakia. These things have I not showed unto all men. So he didn't show what he finna show Ezra to all men. He said, but unto you and a few like you. Then answered I and said, 63, behold, O Lord, now has you showed me the multitude of wonders which you will begin to do in the last times, but at what time you have not showed me. So Ezra saying, you showed me some things that was going to happen in the last time, but you haven't showed me you haven't showed me all of the things. So in chapter 9, that's where he get to breaking it down to Ezra. 9 verse 1, he say, he answered me, Salakia, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the sign pass, which I have told you before, verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So he told Ezra to measure the time, because Ezra's trying to get what's gonna be going on in the last time. And he told Ezra to measure the time. And when some of the signs is passed, once he see these signs, then he gonna know that's when the Lord is gonna visit. So he told him some of the signs. And verse 3 say, therefore when there shall be signs, when there shall be seen earthquakes. He said, let me do that again. Therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, verse 4, then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before you, even from the beginning. Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Verse 6, he say, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. So he let Ezra know the signs is going to be how he measured the time. When certain signs pass, then he know, okay, now this happened. Now the Most High finna visit the earth. So, for instance, the earthquakes. Earthquakes has been breaking records for a long time. But the month of August, you had, I think you had in the first 2 weeks in the month of August, you had 7,000. Was it 7,000 or 6,000? 6,000. It was 6,781 earthquakes just in the first 2 weeks of August alone. And so that's how we know. That's one of the signs to let us know we at the end. This is when he's finna visit. Then you have uproars of the people because they pushing this medical drug, and it's pretty much causing the people to have an uproar. And see, this is in Revelation also, in Revelation 16. And see, he was talking about the last days or the last time. Now look how Revelation 16 worded it. Let's see, 16, starting at let me start at verse 16. He say, and he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew Armageddon. Verse 17, this Revelation 16, 17. He say, and the seventh angel poured out his vial in the air. Now he letting it be known that something gonna be in the air that's gonna be dangerous. Something that's gonna be in the air that's gonna be affecting people, or the people gonna be thinking it's something in the air that's gonna be affecting them. And so it says, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, it is done. You see? So that was one of the major signs that's got the people in the uproar. Because right after that, it tells you about the destruction, great earthquake. So right before the great earthquake or the nuclear missiles hit, you're going to have something in the air. And see, pestilence was always one of the signs. Let's go to Matthew. Matthew 24. They asked Yahushua the same thing, who they even call Jesus Christ. They asked him the same thing. 24, starting at verse 2, it says, and Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So that's, he telling them the temple. The temple is going to be destroyed. Verse 3 say, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of thy coming and of the end of the world? You see, they asked him straight up, what's going to be the sign? See, because they was familiar with Esdras. And the Most High told Esdras, look for the signs. And so that's why the Israelites was always looking for the sign. What's going to be the sign? And that's what they asked him. They said, and what shall be the sign of thy coming? Because they knew Esdras had asked the Most High what was going to be the sign and how to measure the time when he was going to visit the earth. When was he going to come? So they understood what to look for. And so the Yahushua, he's told them in verse 7, starting at Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. See, he said the same thing Ezra said, that it's going to be uproars of the people, nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Then he said the famine is going to be there, food shortages, and then pestilence. Pestilence is the main thing that's causing the uproars of the people, and it's causing the famines. See, pestilence is causing a lot, and the fear of pestilence, because even if the pestilence ain't as bad as they say it is, it's still causing all of the drama. Okay, and so when you go back to the Apocrypha, it talks about the famine, because Esdras was given, like he told Esdras, I showed you and men like, only a few men like you, the times. Now in chapter 6 of 2nd Esdras, was pretty much, or he was telling Esdras pretty much what was going to happen at the end, starting at 6:20. Hold on, Salakia. Let me go to 2nd Esdras 6:7, because he asked the question like the disciples asked. He say, then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other, but me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Verse 7, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times, or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So he wanted to know what's going to be the end of the first and what's going to be the beginning of the next. And he pretty much told him in verse 9, he said, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, now in the end of Esau's world, he picked up at verse 20. He said, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. Now the books open before the firmament, that's the internet. The internet is letting the word go out to the four corners of the earth. And knowledge is increasing, like Daniel said. Now in verse 22, it matches what Yahushua said in verse Matthew 24:7. It say, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So that's where you got the famine happening, because they store food in the storehouses. That's where the food are being is stored at, and we call them stores or grocery stores. They're gonna come up empty, and that's when they say they're gonna blow the trumpet, and all hell gonna break loose in these streets. And so those are some of the signs of the end of the world. But when you go back to Matthew 24, one of the main signs was verse 6. He said, and ye shall hear the rumors of, you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. And so the reason you hearing of the rumors of wars is because that's one of the main things that's going to pop off to let you know the Lord is coming back. Let me get Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. He said, therefore wait upon me, meaning he gonna come, says the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. You see news popping up on the phone every minute, man, because the uproars of the people, the signs of the time is increasing, and the time is speeding up. Let's get that in Matthew. See, Matthew, he was giving all the signs that you can see, or that you can look for, to show that this is when he's coming. Let's get some more of these signs. He say, let's see here. I'm going to get verse 12. He say, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So people are going to be hardcore, heartless. Now verse 22, it say, and except those days be shortened, there shall be no flesh, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So he gonna shorten the time. He gonna cut the time short, because if he don't, there's nobody that's gonna survive. And it's not about everybody surviving. It's the elect not gonna survive. See, he got to cut the time short for the elect. Now, you see the sign of that in the world, where they focusing on the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You look at CNN, they got the sign up saying we want to vaccinate the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So why are you focusing on this group of people? See, you understand that they trying to do something to these people, because it's a lot of people in the world. Why are you focusing on one group of people? And so that's why he got to cut the time short, and he got to pretty much speed the time up and make things happen. That's why everything in the news, it's hard to keep up with the news, because it's so much coming across the news, so much happening at one time. He got to keep it going. So let me get another sign out of Matthew 24. Let me get 21. He say, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor shall ever be. So the tribulation is not, you're not gonna ever see nothing like this, and they haven't seen nothing like this, where the whole world got an epidemic. You haven't seen nothing like that. The Black Plague, that wasn't on the scale that this thing is. This thing is in every country, and you got the beast trying to push it off on certain people. You know, and it's mainly the people that don't want to consent to these peoples. And so that's what we get into. That's one of the main signs too. Second Ezra, let's get Second Ezra 16. 2nd Ezra 16. Let's see here. Starting at verse 69. It say, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under the foot. So what are these people that fear the Lord, what are they not consenting to? Why is he telling them not to consent? Consent means to agree or accept what's going on, to reject it. Why is he telling them to reject something from from these people? And so these are the people that's going to do in verse 7. It say, for there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon the people, upon those that fear the Lord. So the individuals that's they're going to be having an insurrection, meaning they're going to come after these Israelites, and the Israelites supposed to be rejecting something, and if they reject it, the people going to come and kick in their doors. Okay, that go in with Revelation. Let's go back to Revelation. Revelation chapter 12. I'm going to get straight to the point. Verse 17, it say, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to wage war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Yahushua Hamashiach. So that's who coming after the Israelites. That's who's. Let's go back. Now that we know who they coming after, the remnant of her seed. Let's get that 2nd Ezra 16 again. It says, for there, this is verse 70, 2nd Ezra 16:70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Verse 70. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. You see, he said the dragon was going to be wroth with the woman and wage war with her. They was going to go to war with them. That's why I say they're going to be spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Verse 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So when they come after the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, then everybody gonna know, because they gonna be rounding them up, kicking down their doors, going in their house, taking their goods, trying to get them to consent. They're gonna be angry that they didn't want to consent or accept what they was pushing, what this dragon was pushing. And who is the dragon? See, let's get Revelation 13. Who is this dragon? And this is happening in the near future. We right here. Revelation 13:4. It say, and they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast. See, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So when the dragon made war with the Israelites, the dragon gave his power to the military, because you go to war with the military and they're gonna send their military to do their dirty work. They're gonna send their armies to do what they need to do. Let's get that in Revelation 19. In 19 he said, I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. So that making war with him, who is him? Let me get that real quick. Revelation 17 and 14. It say, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings. See, that's who they gonna make war with. They're gonna make war with the Lord of lords, the King of kings, Yahushua, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. And that lets you know the beast is the military, is the armies. And so the armies is going to come after the Israelites. They're going to send their army after the Israelites to kick down their doors, to drag it, to take their goods, because they didn't want to consent. Because the Most High told them not to consent. Now let's get that in Revelation 14. He told the Israelites not to consent to this beast, not to do what this beast telling you to do. Revelation 14 and verse 9, it say, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, verse 10, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without measure into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And so this is what they don't supposed to consent to. And so the beast gonna be trying to get them to consent. They gonna be trying to get them to consent, and when they reject it, they gonna kick down their doors. They gonna be destroying them, because it said destroying. That means some of them is gonna be destroyed. They gonna destroy some of the Israelites that fear the Lord. Let me get that one again. Verse 71, 2nd Ezra 16. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So it's going to be those that's being destroyed that fear the Lord, because they reject him. They fear the Lord, what the Lord going to do to them, because he told them, if you receive what the beast is giving out, what the beast is trying to force on you, I'm going to destroy you. So they either going to be destroyed by the Most High, and the beast going to destroy them too. But a lot of them going to consent, and he going to allow the beast and other things to destroy them. He said they're going to be trodden under the foot. Now, let's see here. 13. This is why they're going to have to reject it, because verse 16 in Revelation 13 and 16, it say, and he called all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So the beast going to be pushing this. He going to be pushing the people to receive something. He's not just going to be asking them and saying, will you please? No. He going to force them. That's why the Lord say, if you accept it, I'm going to destroy you. If you consent to them, I'm going to destroy you. Because they're going to be pushing it. They're going to be forcing you to do it. They're going to be wanting you to accept what they're pushing. Because they already know that's the only way they can fight. That's the only way they can try to come against you, those that fear the Lord. And so, let's get 16, Revelation 16 verse 2. It say, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast and upon them which worship his image. And so that's how it's going to end for these that accepted this mark. Because, well, let's see here. Because he told them, what was that? Where is it? Okay, verse 8, Revelation 13 and 8, it say, all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. So he's saying everybody gonna accept what this dragon and this beast is pushing. All upon earth shall worship him, whose name are not written in the book of life. So the people that's name not written, they gonna accept this mark. They gonna accept whatever the beast is pushing. They not gonna reject it. See, they not gonna reject it. Now, let's get that in Revelation chapter 2. Because this, when they kicked down the door and start destroying the Israelites, this is what they're going to do also. Revelation 2 and 10, it say, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you, meaning the Israelites, into prison, that you may be tried. That's what 2 Ezra 16 and 70 or 69. No, I think like 73. It said that it's gonna know who the chosen, and they're gonna be tried in the fire. So he said, once they kick down the doors and carry him off into prison, he said that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. But he said, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So he's telling the Israelites, they gonna kick down your doors, and when you reject them, they gonna take your goods away. They gonna come and drag you out your house. They gonna throw you into prison, and you make sure you be faithful unto death. Meaning they gonna have to put you to death, because you gonna keep rejecting whatever they pushing, whatever they trying to get you to receive. See, because it's all about receiving something from the beast. Whatever the beast is pushing, he's willing to put you to death for it, you reject it. If it's that serious that he willing to put you to death, he willing to make life uncomfortable for you, you reject it off the rip. You see, paying taxes, that's not life and death. You pay your taxes. Yahweh shall say, pay Caesar things to Caesar. He talking about taxes, because that ain't changed. That's how the slavery system go. But when it comes to this, receiving the mark in the forehead and the hand, now you know it's something serious, and he ready to put you to death for this situation, you reject it. But if you're not written in that book, you gonna let it go along with it. And you can see the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they already in love with the beast, and they doing whatever the beast tell them to do. They believe whatever the beast tell them. They respect and honor that beast. They don't reject that beast. And so you can see how most of them are going to be destroyed. And that's it. Well, let me get that in Matthew. Because Yahweh Shah said that this is how it's going to happen. Matthew chapter 7. Let me get Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7, verse 13, it say, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go therein at. Verse 14, it say, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So only a few people is going to be written in that book of life. Everybody is not going to be written in the book of life. It is not going to be many that's written in the book of life. It's going to be a few. So when these few people reject what the beast got, some of them going to get put to death and thrown into prison and pulled out of their houses. And so that's how the end is going to happen. And we at the point where you got people trying, the beast is in an uproar. Like it said in Revelation 12:12. The beast, which is the dragon, they coming with great wrath. Great wrath. And they pushing. See, you can see the beast is in great wrath, and knowing that he got a short period of time, he trying to make a move and make the elect make a decision to receive what he pushing. He trying to get them to push. He offering them all kind of things. See, he offering them freedom, going back to normal. He offering them all kind of things. And so you can see how the beast is in a rage where he want to push this stuff off on the Israelites, and if they don't accept it, he going to destroy their behind. He preparing to destroy them as we speak. And so let's get that in Luke. This is where we at. Luke 21:25. It say, and there shall be signs in the sun. So what did he tell Ezra? Measure the time. When the signs pass, that's when you gonna know. When these signs pass, that's when you gonna know. He said, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. That's the uproars of the people. And the sea and the waves roaring. See? The uproars of the people. The sea is the people. And so it says in verse 26, this Luke 21:26, men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. See, the powers of this kingdom, they shook. That's why they coming with great wrath, because they shook. Before they came with what they pushing in 2019, June or July of 2019, they battleships was seeing ships, flying objects, flying all over the place for every day. One of the military soldiers say every day that these ships, unidentified objects, showing up. That's why the verse say, there shall be signs in the sun, moon, and the stars. See, it's all kind of signs going on. And people got the video camera, they looking, they scared, they saying, what is this? See, men's hearts failing them for fear. Their mind messed up. They don't know what to do. So he say, in verse 27, he say, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That's that big chariot. 28, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draw nigh. See, when the Israelites seeing all of these signs, we not failing, our heart's not going to be failing for fear. We ain't in fear. Especially those who keeping the commandments and keeping the testimony of Yahushua, we not failing for fear. See, we lifting up our head. We looking up to be redeemed, to be bought back. And so that's the sign that we dealing with. And Let me end it with this Isaiah chapter 14. Isaiah chapter 14 verse 2, it say, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." See, it's not going to be the end when these people come for the Israelites. Let me get that. In Isaiah 59, verse 19, it say, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." See, they're going to lift up a standard against, the Lord is going to lift up a standard against this beast that's coming to devour his people. So they're going to come and they're going to throw them in prison and destroy some of them. But then at that time, the Most High is going to lift up a standard, and he's not going to be able to destroy the Most High's people. That's why in Matthew 24, he was talking about he had to cut the time short for the elect's sake, because he wasn't going to allow the elect to be utterly destroyed. Let me get that in Amos. Let me get that in Amos. Amos chapter 8. Amos chapter 8 or chapter 9. Let me make sure. Amos chapter 9 verse 8, Salakia. It say, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, says the Lord." So he's not going to utterly destroy the house of Jacob, but he's going to destroy these red dragons and these other heathens. He's going to destroy a lot of them. And they're going to have to, the remaining of those people are going to have to be servants and handmaids in the land of the Lord. They're going to have to be a possession of the Israelites. Amos 9 and 12 let you know right after that. It say that they may possess the remnant of Edom. That's the so-called white man. And of all the heathen. See, so they all going to be in possession of the Israelites, because when he lift up that standard, the Israelites is going to take over the world. Let me get that in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 51 verse 20 say, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with you will I break into pieces the nations, and with you will I destroy kingdoms." And so he gonna use the Israelites to destroy these Edomites and the rest of these nations that's trying to exterminate the Israelites. Now, time's still ticking. Let me get that in Psalms 83. Psalms 83 verse 2, it say, "For look, your enemies make a tumult," meaning the enemies is mad, they raging, like in chapter 2 of Psalms. The heathen rage. It says in verse 3, it says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulting against your hidden ones." Verse 4, "They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." So they want to cut them out of remembrance. What is that? Extermination. When you exterminate something, that means it's not going to be in remembrance. It's not going to exist. And so that's pretty much the plan of all these nations. That's what they planning on doing, so they can try to continue their rulership. But that's how it's all gonna end. The Israelites is gonna be attacked pretty much, and the Lord gonna lift up a standard, and they're gonna destroy these nations that's coming against them, and they're going into slavery at the end of the day. All these heathen. And so I'm gonna leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises. Double honor to the elders, pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves, who is in captivity, and the heathens is refusing to let them go. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.